Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Phil Sands. I am a university liaison for the CSTA chapter, the Indiana Hoosier Heartland CSTA chapter. This is going to be kind of maybe an abbreviated meeting. This is a little bit of an experiment using the Google Hangout on air. So hopefully if you are still getting done with your school day, you'll be able to watch this whenever you get the chance. We will based on some feedback that I got from a lot of our users, we will make more of an effort in the future to hold these meetings, even if we do it with this format at a time when more people can participate. We really do want folks to have the opportunity to communicate with one another. And this was kind of an interesting experiment. I was hoping we would have more live people, and hopefully that will change still. So that we can test out some of the features and see if that helps us communicate with one another when we're spread out so far across the state. So I am going to go ahead and get started and share some of the things that I have on the agenda that we put together. Your CSTA President, Julie Alano, and your Vice President, Seth Pizzo, and I put together. We wanted to walk through some of these things with you. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully, again, I don't know if my little head will pop up in the corner. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So this will be kind of an interesting experiment. So this is our agenda for today's meeting. We are going to talk a little bit about upcoming elections. And we're going to go over some things related to the Indiana CSTA website. We're going to talk about the IBEA conference. We're going to do PD for summer of 2016. That's something that I just received some funding for, so I wanted to solicit some feedback on what we might be able to do with regards to PD. I wanted to get some comments from folks in the CSTA about what they need or what are their biggest needs going forward. And then lastly, talk a little bit about the online APCSA course, which is something that we are very, very excited about here at Purdue. So okay, so sorry, I just wanted to check in one more time here. What you can do if you're new to Google Hangouts while this is going on, and I'm going to do my best to juggle these things. I'm not exactly sure how to do this best, but there's a spot on the right-hand side for questions. And if you want to submit a question, or if you have something you want to ask, you can go ahead and do that. And I'll try and pay attention and answer whatever questions we have. I also am not sure, as you start to join in here, whether you can participate if you want to appear on this broadcast. I'm not sure how that works exactly, so we'll experiment a little bit with that. And I apologize to anyone who's watching this later and is like, what the heck is going on? Because it may be a complete disaster, but we're going to try our best here. So the first thing that I wanted to bring up is the chapter elections. And even though we've traditionally had a president and a vice president and some affiliated folks that were helping us with our planning, I thought that maybe it would be better for us to try and develop a leadership board, something, and this is merely a suggestion, and I'd love your feedback on this, something where we can actually have people who maybe are spread out throughout the state and can take responsibility for other CSTA members in their region. Almost, it's going to sound silly, but a little bit like a more formal kind of representative government or something. And the reason why I thought this would be helpful is because I know how hard it is for us all to travel to one spot. In fact, when we were talking about having this meeting, Julie is down in Fishers, and she said, well, we could always have it here. And, Seth is down in Bloomington, and I'm sure he would have been happy for us to have it there. And then, of course, I'm up here in West Lafayette, and also very happy to host. But it's more of a question of how can people get to where we are and that physical distance. So we thought that maybe having a leadership board would be a better way to do this. So these are the things that people who are interested in participating will need to be able to commit to. So first and foremost, they should be able to organize and communicate with teachers in their region. Now, of course, we haven't really established regions, so that will be part of this as well. But I do think if we look for areas where we have lots of teachers, or at least we can point to a significant number of teachers in a given region, we can start to delineate where we'll need people and go from there. Volunteer to represent the CSTA chapter in state DOE matters. I get lots of requests from the folks at the DOE to participate in various conversations about where we're going, what kind of CS opportunities we want to offer, things about programs, scholarships, those kind of things. I think it would be nice to have us speak as part of a kind of unified voice in a board and have more people. If I get a request, who do you think would be good at helping us develop some curriculum? I'd like to be able to point to someone from the board. So that's another responsibility that we would look for. Planning teacher PD sessions, that goes into our regular meetings. We like to offer some kinds of PD, and we're going to have some PD available at the Indiana Business Educators Association meeting, which is going to happen in November. So we would love people who are willing to maybe put themselves out there a little bit and help us plan what we're going to talk about, and both by soliciting feedback from the members in their region, but then also in conversations with us and maybe their own personal interests. So we will need help managing our finances, which, as Julie and I always joke, is zero. But it would be nice to have someone who could help us make sure that we can get some funds, whether we're writing grants or doing what we can to raise a little bit of money so that we can help maybe send some people to CSTA, the national conference every year, or do other associated things and to support our meetings or other kind of professional development things. We would like someone who can commit to helping us with that. And then, I think the board itself should have one meeting at some point during the year, and then that person should commit to going to all the other CSTA meetings if they're in person and online. And obviously, somewhat flexible with that because everybody's got busy schedules, but we'd like you to make a strong commitment to that. So since there's not a large audience here at the moment, I guess what I'll do is I will ask that if you have a nomination and you nominate yourself and you'd like to serve as part of the board, or you think of somebody who you think would be in your region, who you think is a good leader for you in CSTA and CS matters, why don't you email me, and I will share those things with Seth and Julie, and we'll try to put together a good list of people who want to participate. And then if there needs to be an election, we'll do an election. Otherwise, we'll just notify people who are willing to represent their part of the state. And I'm going to keep switching back here. Hopefully this works. This is interesting. It's funny to do this because I have this screen in front of me, but then I also I've been trying to monitor the actual Hangout. So I've got a suggestion, which is maybe my PowerPoints aren't showing the way they're supposed to be showing. So I hope that I get this fixed. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong exactly, but I'm going to give it another shot, and we'll see how this works. So I'm going to try and screen share again and move on to the next topic. But in between topics, I'll check back in here. So if you have more suggestions, I'll try and answer those as they come up. Okay, so hopefully we had this conversation about the chapter elections. Moving forward a step, I think next it would be good to talk about the Indiana CSTA website with my lovely, and some would say unfortunate, abbreviation. But however you look at it, we have this website. I hope those of you who are new to CSTA and are infrequent participants are aware of this website. It is incsta.org, and right now it's fairly limited in the sense that it is it's all the material is being just kind of put up by me based on either things that I found that are interesting or things that people send to me, and I'd really love to have more contributions from CSTA members. So just some ideas of things that I think would be helpful in terms of building our community. and would allow various teachers an opportunity to participate. So the first thing I thought might be a nice feature would have once a month someone submit a lesson. And Seth and I talked about this a lot in the sense that we aren't getting, as a community, an opportunity to share ideas very often. And I know there are a lot of teachers who are relatively new, but maybe have some good ideas for teaching, things that are in the PLTW-CSE course, or in the Introduction to Computer Science course, or if you're using like the APCS Principles class and you're going to do something with that. And it might be good for us to start sharing lessons or ideas for lessons, maybe projects for an AP class, if you're going to teach Java or something for Visual Basic. So if we do that once a month, and all we're really asking is someone to basically send us a lesson, maybe even if they're interested in recording a short video to kind of explain what it is that they do, it might be a good way for us to get to know one another, and also to share some new teaching ideas, things that we might be able to incorporate. So once again, if you'd like to participate in that, please let me know and send me an email. I thought maybe we could shine the spotlight on different people in our state. Maybe we can have a feature where we're getting to know somebody, a little bit about their teaching background, their interests, and how they got involved with CS. And so if you want to nominate somebody for that, that could be a really fun opportunity to kind of get a little bit more of a personal touch in terms of getting to know who's who and where they are around the state. Again, this next item is just a suggestion. I collect a lot of information, on a day-to-day basis. In fact, it's part of my news feed, my RSS feed, excuse me, is to look at what's going on in CS education and get some ideas on where that's going. There's lots of things happening with code.org. Julie can talk to you at some point about what's happening with Next Tech here in this state and that kind of thing. So we definitely want to get that information out there to you, and maybe we could do some kind of roundup so that maybe not on a daily basis, but we can just share kind of like a rundown of what's happening for the month. And if somebody wanted to take responsibility for writing that, that would be terrific. And the last thing I thought about, since we do, I know at Purdue we do a programming competition every year during CS Ed Week. I thought, well, what if we did a challenging CS problem of the month? When I taught math, we used to do a math problem of the month, and that was always something that was fun. And whether we keep it amongst ourselves and just challenge each other with a bunch of kind of funnies, well, not funny, but interesting CS problems, that'd be great. Or if you want to give these to the kids, maybe we can, I'm sure I could probably find a way to get some prizes and send them out if you were all so inclined. So just some suggestions. And if you have some interest in participating, please let me know, because I'd love to have some help with that. I'm going to go once again back to my my screen here. Let's make sure I have escaped my screen share. So the Indiana CSTA website, I'm going to take 1 second here and show you the CSTA website. You'll have to forgive some of my other things on my screen here. I'm going to have to switch the screen share over for a minute. So this is our website. If you are interested, you can follow us on Twitter, Indiana CSTA. It actually publishes directly from this WordPress site, so it'll actually, all the articles that get placed up here will be shared. And so that's, things about the Cutler Bell Prize for high school seniors, which is actually a really cool opportunity. Items about the Aspirations Award, which we're accepting nominations for. And then obviously details about our meeting. Other things I wanted to point out before I left this website, because I know we don't get a chance to talk about it too much. I actually have, I also put up, every time I get someone who sent me something about a resource that might be interesting to CS teachers, I put it on the site, and it doesn't always come up in the news feed because I just think of these things as general resources. So there's a link up at the top menu that will take you to these things. So if you click on resources, you'll get to see all of these items. And so you can get some more information about this. We had an opportunity to participate in the Oracle Academy. They have a free educator training program. Microsoft has a new CS curriculum for teachers. We're partners with O'Reilly, so we actually get discounts on books if there are those of you who are interested. So these things are all up here, and there's actually quite a lot more in the archive. So feel free to flip through those, and if there's anything there that you want more information about, just let me know, and I'm happy to help you with that. Other parts of the website, just to kind of point out some things, the CSTA Advocate blog is here, and those are links to the actual CSTA website. And there are usually interesting pieces in there that in your spare time you can read through. And then if you ever need to find things, everything gets tagged. We also have our archives. We've been doing this particular website since 2013, so you can go back and read all the old material if you need to find something. And then there's some categories for different things that we do. So once again, I really want this to be a good resource as well. So if you want to contribute to this, that would be excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so hopefully we can go back to, meeting notes. Next on the agenda is the IBEA conference. That's the Indiana Business Educators Association, for those of you who are not members. Last year, they were nice enough to extend an opportunity for us to be part of a CS track. And so what we want to do this year is continue that track. We are running up against some deadlines, and we do need to plot out what we're going to do. And so I thought it would be kind of neat if we could get some suggestions for sessions if other people wanted to present. Last year, Julie and Seth and I did quite a few sessions ourselves. We had Debbie Hagan, who's a former CS teacher, join us. I got a Purdue professor to do a session, and I met a lot of you at these sessions and got to talk to a lot of people. And as you're starting to build your confidence and you want to share some cool things with teachers, this would be a good opportunity. So I assume that we're going to do the new CS teacher session again. And then we usually like to include sessions from each of the various areas where you might be teaching an introductory class, excuse me, APCSA and APCS principles, maybe as we're going into 2016-17 when you can offer that course for AP credit officially. And I'm not exactly sure how all that works, so I kind of wish Julie was here to help me with that. But if you're interested, let me know and we can get you set up so that you can lead a session. Other things we need help with is the CSTA booth. We have a booth that we've paid for, and that helps us talk to new members and connect with potential members. Lots of people end up teaching CS for the first time through the Indiana Business Educators Association. So, so let me know when it comes to that. All right, so looks like things are still relatively quiet here. So hopefully I'm not offending anyone. I always feel a little awkward being the only mouthpiece for CSTA. So hopefully I'm not stepping on anyone's toes, but if anyone else would like to contribute, just let me know. And I think for next time, we're gonna have to figure out how to get other people who are participating in the live broadcast an opportunity to speak. I don't see anyone else showing up here. I can tell that I have other viewers, but I can't tell if there's a way for you to be in here in this room with me. So thank you, Julie, for volunteering to do a session about the new courses. That is awesome. So I'm very happy to have help with that. And if you have even if you have ideas for something that you'd like to see maybe, and you don't want to give that session, but maybe Julie or I or Seth or anybody else who participates in CSTA that wants to volunteer, we can find somebody who can lead that session. So, all right, back to the screen share. I've got a couple more items, and then maybe we'll be able to wrap up a little early, or I'll take more questions and try and facilitate a little conversation. So, all right. So the next item on the agenda is professional development opportunities for next summer. I sort of, I guess, fortuitously made an arrangement with with my what do you call it, business development office here at Purdue. I had applied for a grant for PD for this past summer, and it got denied by Google, and I was bummed out about that because I put a lot of work into it. And then I just took this grant that I'd written, and I said, well, what the heck, I'll just submit it to one of our corporate partners and see what happens. And I'm completely stunned, but they agreed to fund a summer PD program for us. So so we have money, and it's going to happen. I mean, I literally have to host this. So obviously the goal of doing this would be to offer opportunities for us all to get together and really make something positive out of this. So we're well in advance of this. And so there's lots of steps towards making this happen. We'll have to ask you what dates work well for you, and if you can think ahead to next summer, maybe we can plan some good dates for that, where everyone has an opportunity to come in and participate. And the main ideas that I had proposed, and I'm going to try my best to stick to some of these things, are as you can see on the screen. So number one is develop a community of practice around our CSTA chapter. This is a big idea in CS education right now, is that teachers only develop their abilities if they have a community in which to participate. And so the Google money, when I wrote the original grant, was dedicated to those who found a way to establish best practices for a community of practice. So I thought that maybe building around summer PD was a good first step. And so I thought that would be interesting. And it kind of ties into that idea I mentioned earlier about having like regional representatives and a board and that sort of thing. So hopefully we can put that into place and really build our community through this PD set of PD sessions. The other big thing, obviously, in CS education right now from a national perspective is CS principles, which they're still very eagerly anticipating its rollout as an official AP course next year. And so there are 7 major ideas. So the activities that we plan our session are built around that. I'm a big believer in really concrete things that you can walk out and use the next day. So we will try to make sure that, as opposed to talking about big ideas, we actually are talking about useful, usable components, but it will be sort of centered around those major ideas in CS principles. We want to create actual classroom products, like I said, so things that you can use. And so we'll do some of that. I will develop some things and share them with you, but then also we'll give you an opportunity to spend some of that PD time actually working on new material. And I also wanted to mention when I wrote this, because I do think this is important. I like the principles curriculum quite a bit, but I think it's important for us to support each other in any area. So I think you could use CS principles material in your other classes, but we also should be developing materials that we can use in our AP courses and use in our intro CS courses and our other Programming 1 and Programming 2 courses. And so we will have some time built in to build products for those things as well. And then lastly, because I'm mildly selfish and I do a lot of things here at Purdue that I want more teachers to connect through, I will make sure that this is an opportunity for you to interact with our computer science department, members of the faculty that are interested in participating. I'm assuming that we have folks like Dr. Susanna Hambrush, and even though he just recently retired, Dr. Tim Korb, and I can get those folks to be part of this. But we also have a lot of new faculty who are doing some kind of cutting edge stuff, and I'm going to look to try and get some of those folks to come and share some of the cutting edge things with you. Folks from our College of Education, we actually do have some grad students that participate in CS education research, so I'm going to have them come and share some things with you. And then my program, which is K-12 Outreach. So I have some opportunities for you to engage with us, and I bring CS students from here in our department to do a variety of activities. So this would be a little bit of an opportunity for me to share those things with you. So this is going to happen. I think the goal is to do 3 days of PD. And so if you would like to help me kind of organize and structure that, and definitely help me put the dates on the calendar, this is a step that we're going to take. And again, I've got this funding for it. So we actually have the money that we've requested to do it. So it should be an opportunity for you to do this without much cost to yourself. In fact, I think in my budget, I actually have money set aside for you to stay on campus. So it's a residential program, and we'll try and get you in the dorms and eating the dorm food, which I know is your dream. You're excited to come back. So, all right. So I'm seeing some questions here on the side, which is awesome. Hopefully, I don't know how any of these things work, and I have to admit I'm not sure about the context exactly. I have a question from Matt Parker that says, "What things have been done in the past?" And I assume that maybe this is in reference to the IBEA sessions that we did last year. So last year we did five sessions. Julie can correct me if I'm wrong. What we did was we did a session for new CS teachers that was 2 hours long. I did an AP session talking about at the time the new AP CSA labs that they had released. So we kind of walked through the labs and talked about the strengths and weaknesses and where to put those in the curriculum. Seth did a session on CS principles and what that course was about, because it was, and still is to, I think, a lot of teachers relatively new. So he walked through those courses. I don't know if he had if he was sharing certain lessons or if he was just talking about how he structured his course. Julie did another session about Intro to CS and the things that you could do in that course. We had a professor from Purdue, Buster Dunsmore, who talked about what a college CS curriculum entailed. And so he actually had some students and talked about what things that a high school CS teacher could do to prepare their kids for college and what things Purdue was looking for. I think that's the list of sessions. It's always just nice to have, I don't know what you guys, but when I was teaching more regularly, I always enjoyed walking away from a conference, whether it was a math conference or a CS conference, with something I could use the next day. And so, it's hard sometimes when you want to talk about the big picture in the courses not to do that. But then we also, I think, I think it's also good to give teachers things they can use right away. And so Julie and I think I could see that she's saying yes, she's going to do the new courses session, and so we'll do that. And then if anybody, like I said, else wants to contribute, I'm looking, oh man, it's so weird. So I just want you to know this as I'm looking at these questions, which are great. And thanks for contributing. They don't show up in any reasonable order, I don't think. Matthew's question that he asked is up at the top still, even though I think other people have commented. So I'm having a hard time figuring out what's in response to what else. So I don't know what you see, but I don't know if this is the best organization on Google's part. Julie, if you can't see these questions or these comments, I'm gonna mention some of them. So Julie mentioned that that the most recent set of standards in the CS courses do somewhat follow the CSTA standards, and that's true. We actually went through with K-8. I know specifically because I participated in that and trying to align K-8 curriculum here in Indiana. And I think there are some other steps coming forth in which we would incorporate some CS into the science standards. I'm not sure exactly what the progress is on that. Chris, I'm seeing your question down here, Chris. I'm so sorry. Chris's question is, why does the Indiana Department of Education not use ISTE or CSTA standards? And I guess maybe that's what Julie was responding to, is that we do kind of follow the CSTA standards. So to a limited effect. And, every state's going to be a bit different. I think part of the issue for us is, of course, we are business teachers. Other CS departments in other states are in math. I don't know of too many that are in science, but we do have a variety of starting points. And so I think from where we're coming from, we designed our curriculum to fit the needs of our business teachers. And I say we, I don't actually mean me. But Julie, I know, has had a pretty active hand in doing a lot of that. And she would be, I wish I could just put her face on here and she could talk to you about all this stuff, because she would answer these questions a lot better than I would. So hopefully I covered those questions well. And I'll jump back after I walk through I think I only have 2 more items on the agenda, and then we'll wrap up. So let's see if I can do this right. Okay. Well, here you go. I think I've covered some of this. I didn't see a lot of people sharing teacher needs. But this would be a good opportunity to express that if you have things, if you're sitting there in your classroom and thinking to yourself, like, on some days, like, well, I'm doing my, I'm teaching a course. I think I'm doing things pretty well, but it would be really great maybe to get some Raspberry Pis and do like a hardware unit. That would be really cool. I'm in a position where I think if I had enough support from teachers, I could actually go and try and find a way to make that happen. I could write a grant, help you write a grant. I could write a grant, however that's going to work. And we could try and get you some support. Maybe what you think you need is just more shared lesson plans, and we can do that. If I guess the reason I put the slide in here is because I just wanted to give everyone an opportunity to share things that they thought they needed. And of course, I thought this on-air broadcast might work in that I could like click on your face and you could say, share what you needed, but I guess I can't do that, or I'm incompetent and I can't figure it out. So just email Julie and I things that you think you need, because we're here to support you. And I have a lot more flexibility than Julie does in terms of literally finding you and helping you. So, always feel free to email the two of us, and Seth. I'm sure, knowing Seth, he would be more than happy to help if we can do that. So as things arise and you're wondering, wow, what I would really like to do something specific, just let us know and we'll try and help you with that. I'm going to do what I've been doing, and I'm going to look again at my window just in case anybody threw something up there. No, it doesn't look like I have any additional questions. So let's, oh, this is great. This is much better than what I was doing before, by the way. So let's go ahead and we'll keep going with this. This is my last big topic, and something that, especially now that I'm looking at this, actually, here's what I'm going to do. This is the magic of live things. I'm going to put the link on here. It is linked to on the CS website at Purdue. And actually, now I'm going to cheat a little bit because I need to make sure that I'm giving you the proper link here. But essentially what happened is that my boss in the CS department, Dr. Sunil Prabhakar, asked us last year to offer a course online that mirrored our 180 level course, which is our first programming course here at Purdue. And so we did that, and we ran a pilot last year where we had about 200 students, and it was very much like the massively online open courses that you're probably familiar with, MOOCs, in that we started with 200 kids and a couple of teachers, and by the time we got to December, I think there were about 20 active students, and I don't know how many active teachers. And then by the end of the year, we were down to just a handful. And so taking that information and trying to use it to make the course better for this year, we've put a little bit more structure to it. The department has thrown some money behind it, that we got a generous donation from the Harris Corporation so that I could actually hire people to help. So here are the basics. First of all, it's free for students, any student. So if you have students in your own classes that want to participate, they can, even if they're also taking your AP course. So if they just want, if you think maybe they would benefit from another voice, or they want it, or even if you as a teacher want to follow along, I'm 100% behind that, in terms of us putting a product out in front of you that you can take this online course and help develop your skills if this is a new thing for you. This is a Java programming course. We have 15 topics that we would teach in a normal semester of CS 180 here at Purdue. And they start out with, if you're familiar with programming in Java, they start out with all the most basic concepts that you would imagine. We teach, variables and loops and conditionals and functions and classes and objects and recursion and those kind of things that I think are in most people's standard Java curriculum. We do inheritance, we do lists and arrays and all that sort of thing. We give a little bit more of a treatment towards how a computer thinks behind the scenes and that level of abstraction. And then at the end of the course, we also introduce concurrency and threading in programs. And we also have a project that students work on to develop a Android app. So these are things that we would ask our students to do. And now we're basically producing a full year-long course for you to either audit yourself as a teacher or to have students take so that they can prep for the AP course. So we're going to kind of infuse the 180 material that exists with the things that will support preparing students for the AP CSA exam. Okay. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. It is self-paced. but self-paced in a way that we are going to try and enforce a little bit of structure so that students have certain deadlines to make in terms of having some of their projects and exams graded by the TAs that I've hired. So I have a group right now of 7 undergraduate TAs and 1 graduate TA that are helping me with the class. We will grade projects and exams, not practices. So there are, every topic has a number of practice assignments where we basically post the practice assignment and we post the key for that assignment. And they're very much like maybe one-day worksheets that you would give your students if you were trying to get them to reinforce a concept. Maybe things that they can type into Dr. Java or whatever IDE you use so that they can practice and kind of see the outcomes and start to make connections with the actual code. And we don't grade those, so the solutions are there so that the students can just grade their own work. And then we focus our grading on big projects like programming projects, of which we'll have at least 1 per topic. And then also the exams, which are all designed to be AP CSA test prep style. So we'll mimic the style of the AP exam. We'll do multiple choice questions. We'll do an open-ended question at the end of the exam. And so my TAs will, that's funny to say that, CSTAs, where are the CSTA? My Purdue students, undergraduates who are TAs, will grade those things as long as by the deadline. And that way we're hoping to keep kids on pace. We have a suggested calendar that is also used to kind of help kids understand what content they should watch. All the lectures are from a Purdue professor who we actually offer this course online to our own students as a distance learning class. So it's a separate section from what we use with our high schoolers, but she recorded the material, this professor, Debbie Perulli, to offer to both. So there are videos. I think the first topic, for instance, has 21 videos that are between 4 minutes and 12 minutes. And so a student can watch those and then do some programming along with those videos, stop the videos. There's a lot of advantages, I think, to having a recorded piece of content. And enrollment will be open for 2 more weeks. So if you have students, even if you know of some people, maybe they're like friends or family members or whatever that you would like to have participate, feel free to share this with them. Like I said, I think right now we have 145 students enrolled, and my original goal for this year was 250. So you can see that we have slots open for sure. And like I said, for those of you who want to audit the course kind of and do things from that perspective, I think I have 2 CS teachers right now who are participating in that manner. And that would be a good way for you to kind of get a sense of what kind of things we're doing here at Purdue as well. So this is a cool opportunity. Go to the link. There's a Qualtrics survey that you have to go through and fill out. One thing from a logistics standpoint, just so you know, unfortunately, the bottleneck for us is that new accounts to use Purdue resources have to be created by the IT staff, not the CS department. So when I get a new request to be part of the course, I have to send it to our IT department, who then sends it to someone else in the IT department. I actually am not entirely sure what happens behind the scenes, but they say, give us 7 to 10 days and then we'll send you an account and a login. So ultimately, when you sign up, it will take a little while to get you in the system. And so that's my one fair warning, and I apologize. So, but anyway, an exciting opportunity and something I'm putting a lot of energy into right now. I think that's it in terms of the things that I put on the agenda. And so if there are any additional questions, I'm going to go back and look and see if there's anything else that people have added. So I'm seeing something from Chris that says that it says, I teach 6th to 8th grade digital communications. I have a set of standards, but no map to say this needs to be down. Needs to be down in any grade. I'm assuming what you mean by that is that maybe do you mean done, maybe done in any grade? It's very, I mean, from a big picture perspective, we are getting to the point where I think more students are going to start having CS courses in their middle school curriculum, and that's awesome. But at this point, the CSTA just has general guidelines on when students should learn X, Y, and Z. And I'm gonna say something and let Julie correct me. I would lean on the CSTA resource as long as it fits in with the course that you're teaching, if there's something on the books for what kind of things that you should be teaching in that class. And then you can make it your own, very much so. Hopefully if you need help in terms of like making sure that you're doing the things that fit with the CS curriculum, just again, you can contact Julie or Seth or I, and we'll be happy to help you with that. I'm going to try and follow some of the things in here. Do we have a curriculum map? I don't know. Oh, Julie, you've answered this. I know what a curriculum map is, but I'm sure what you're looking for. Are you asking if there's a mapping of our state standards to the CSTA standards? I don't think we have a direct mapping, but maybe that's something that we ought to talk about doing next time we have a meeting. So we will put that on the agenda, and Julie and I are definitely going to talk about that once we're offline. I'm seeing one of Julie's answers here. Right, a curriculum map is specific to a district and can be taught when they prefer. Yeah, we should work on some samples, I think, and that would be something I think we'd be interested in doing, and maybe would be good to do in person. So we'll put that on the list. I'm going to hang out here for just a couple more minutes, and if there's any other comments, feel free to offer them in the sidebar. And then if not, hopefully whenever you viewed this, you got something good out of it. And I'll put up. Actually, I'm going to add this to. The PowerPoint and share it again. I'll make a new slide here and I'll put this up. So, oops, except I don't know what I'm doing. It's been a long day. Isn't everybody glad it's Friday? I'm glad it's Friday. So I'm going to put some contact information up for Julie and Seth and I. And I hope Julie's okay with that. I say that a lot, I guess. I hope Julie's okay with that. I just make decisions. I know she's okay with it. I should probably look at her email before I type this in. Well, I think this is right. Oh, geez. Okay, let me put this on the screen because I can't imagine this is really all that interesting to look at my face while I type on a keyboard. So I'm making this new slide, and I'm going to add in, I'm going to cheat a little bit here because I need to look at my emails to make sure that I have these email addresses right. Seth's is really funny. Not funny like haha, but funny like not expected. mccsc.edu is his. And then my email is and we'll put these slides up somewhere also on the CSTA website if you would like to see these. But if you want to contact any of us, let me double check Julie's because I think that's right. Julie, Jesse, yes, okay. You can contact any of the three of us about your concerns or questions. And I'm going to continue watching to see if we have any other comments on the side. And these comments are just kind of a mess. Can I sort these somehow? I don't know. Very bizarre. So I'm going to try something here just because we're in this mode where we're figuring out how this works. So I'm going to select something Julie said as a question and just see what happens because there's a little box that says select. So if I select that, what happens? Oh, it tells me, okay, I don't know if that's being shared with you, what's currently being answered. I guess I should have done that before. Huh. All right, we're learning some things here, people. And then when I'm done, I don't know if it goes away or, oh, this is so interesting. Okay, well, I'm not seeing a whole lot of new comments or questions. So once again, thank you to everyone for coming today. And thanks for letting me try this out. And hopefully this was a productive use of our time. I still feel like it was a little bit too much one-directional, so we'll work on trying to find a better way to do this in the future. And we will, as I mentioned at the very beginning, we will keep in mind that a lot of you are just finishing school, and I personally really messed up with this because All of you who are on Central Time, I'm very sorry. I've lived on the East Coast and in Michigan for most of my life, and I'm still not 100% used to thinking about Central Time. So in the future, I will make sure that we plan our meetings at a time that everyone can make, and so it's not a lot of pressure on you guys to rush out of your classes or to participate. Okay, thanks again, everybody, for coming, and we will talk to you soon.